Crispy potato skins are literally one of the tastiest appetizers out there, and they're so easy to make without any fancy equipment. So let's get straight into it. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright guys, let's start this off by adding 1 kilo or 2.2 pounds of washed Yukon Gold potatoes or any all-rounder potato into a large saucepan or pot, to which we're going to fill with cold water 2 inches above the potatoes. The reason for the cold water is to allow the potatoes to heat up evenly and cook at the same rate. Once that's done, transfer the saucepan or pot over to the stovetop, placing it on the largest burner over a high heat, then add in a good sprinkle of sea salt flakes to lightly season the water and bring this to a boil. Once boiling, allow it to do so for 16 to 18 minutes or until the surface of the potatoes is slightly soft. In the meantime, to prepare the filling, here is 180 grams or 6.3 ounces of streaky bacon, and shortcut bacon is perfectly fine to use too if you can't get hold of streaky bacon. And because these rashers are quite large, I'm just going to cut these in half to make it easier to work with, and then what we want to do is dice these up. A quick and efficient way to do this is stack the rashers on top of one another and then slice them into thin, even-sized strips, and the sizing is completely up to you. Once that's done, rotate the prepared strips 90 degrees, tucking any little runaway pieces back in and slice across to make even-sized diced pieces. Like I said, the size is up to you, but it's good to keep them on the smaller side. This will then leave us with the diced bacon that we need, and this can then be popped aside for the time being. Now for another bit of prep, here is 2 spring onions, which are optional, and these are going to be used as a garnish. With these, we're not going to be using the root end, so you can do whatever you want with these, like stick the stalks out of your ears if you really wanted to, or you can simply save them for a stock. As for the green tops, this part makes a fantastic garnish and it has a very calm and mellow flavour. So we're just going to thinly slice it on a slight angle to create nice little diamond or oval shaped pieces. And also with this, you don't have to slice it on an angle, you can slice it straight to create round pieces. But if you want to make this a little bit fancy, I do recommend doing the angle cut. Once that's done, just pop them aside or put them in a bowl and place them in the fridge. Okay, so going back to the potatoes, which have been boiling away for 18 minutes and the surfaces are now soft, these can then be carefully removed from the stovetop and very carefully poured into a sieve or colander to drain. We can then allow these to cool down for roughly 30 minutes, just until they're cool enough to pick up, or you can speed up the time and place them in the fridge for 20 minutes. Alright, so now these bad boys are cool to the touch, what we want to do is place them onto their side and slice straight through the center to create 2 even-sized halves. Once sliced, the next step is to gently scoop out the center of the potato, leaving roughly a 1 cm rim around the edge, and with the scooped out bits, place them into a bowl, which we will use later on with the bacon. Like I said, be nice and gentle with these as they can fall apart quite easily if you scoop out too much or go right into the skin. With the potato pieces, these can then be popped aside for the time being. Next, prepare a large baking tray with some parchment paper and evenly distribute the prepared potatoes around the tray, making sure that they're not all on top of one another. Get these bad boys drizzled up with 1 tablespoon or 20 milliliters of olive oil, making sure to evenly distribute it. Then sprinkle over 1 teaspoon or 5 grams of sea salt flakes and a good crack of pepper on each potato. Now with these, make your way over to the preheated oven that's been set to 190 degrees Celsius or 370 degrees Fahrenheit. Place these onto the middle shelf and bake them for 18 to 20 minutes or until lightly golden brown. Now whilst the potatoes are baking away, place a large skillet onto your stovetop over a high heat, and once hot, pour in 1 tablespoon or 20 milliliters of olive oil, to which we can then proceed by adding in the diced bacon, making sure that none of that good stuff stays in the bowl. With the bacon, we're then just going to fry this off for 2 to 3 minutes or until nicely golden brown, giving it a good mix very frequently so that the bacon doesn't stick. After 3 minutes and our bacon is looking nice and golden and the fat is rendered out, we can then proceed by adding in those potato pieces that we scooped out earlier, being careful of any moisture that may cause the bacon to spit. With this, break up the potato really well as we don't want any large chunks, and fold it into the golden bacon. Once that's broken up, add in 1 teaspoon or 5 grams of sea salt flakes and 1 teaspoon or 10 cracks of black pepper for a nice seasoning, and again, give this a good mix, then turn the heat down to medium and fry this for 3 to 4 minutes for those flavours to become friends and for the potato to turn slightly golden brown. When that's done, turn off the heat and move the pan to a cold burner for a minute or so. Now back to the potatoes, these have been baking away for 20 minutes and are looking beautifully golden brown, which means we can then get these out, place them onto a heat resistant surface or wire rack, and fill these generously with the potato and bacon mixture. If you do happen to have any leftover mixture, simply top up any that may be looking a little bit small, or stuff the absolute you know what out of them. The next step is to top each stuffed potato with some freshly grated mozzarella cheese, and the amount of cheese you use here is completely up to you, but in my opinion, lots of cheese on these is the way to go. Once that's done and these are looking beautiful, have all of their filling and are nicely cheesed up, Make your way back over to the oven, which is still set to the same temperature, but this time on the grill or broiler setting. Then place these onto the top shelf and grill or broil them for 7 to 9 minutes depending on the power of your oven, or until the cheese is melted and is deliciously golden brown. 9 minutes later, these can then be removed from the oven, placing them back onto a heat resistant surface or wire rack, and how good do these look? They're not even finished yet, there's still more flavour to add. Talking about that, the next step is to add a small amount of sour cream to each potato skin for a pop of freshness. Then we can top these off with those spring onion pieces that we sliced earlier, which is optional, but trust me, these flavours are amazing together and form a fantastic friendship. Then now the final and most satisfying step is to gently lay these out onto your serving platter, board or plate, and with that final product they look absolutely incredible, the skin's nice and crispy as well as the internal potato being super soft, which means we can then dig in. So that's all it takes to make these amazing and crispy potato skins. This recipe right here makes roughly 14 to 16 and that depends on the size of your potatoes. And as for storage and reheating, I'll leave all of the details in the description below, just because there's certain steps where you can make these ahead of time and store them at different stages. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button so my videos can be seen by more people, and consider subscribing along with hitting that bell notification next to it so you never miss when I upload. Thanks for watching everyone, stay safe and enjoy.